Hey guys, welcome to DevOpsSchool. In this video tutorial, we are going to teach you about Puppet, which is a configuration management tool. After going through this tutorial, I promise you that the concept and understanding of the Puppet will be absolutely clear to you. But before we begin, let me inform you a few things about us. DevOps School is one of the leading platforms which offers DevOps, cloud and containers technology training and certification programs for freshers and established professionals who wish to update and consolidate their skills in the dynamic IT scenario. We ensure that the training solutions are delivered by highly experienced domain experts with practical working experience in various verticals. You can join our all training programs globally through online platforms, and if you're looking for classroom workshop, then we have regular batches available in Hyderabad and Bangalore. Check out the dates and enroll with us for our upcoming batches. For more info, link and contact details are mentioned in the description below.
Okay, so now today we are going to talk about Puppet administrations. How can you become a Puppet admin? So as part of the Puppet admin, you have to set up a Puppet master, Puppet server, and then we have to also set up a nodes and all. So before setting up the Puppet master, Puppet server, Puppet nodes, we'll have to discuss like how it works basically. So as part of the Puppet architecture, we have two important blocks, which is one we call it server. Server is called also is being called as a Puppet master, whatever you want to call it. Puppet master, Puppet server, Puppet enterprise, anything you might want to call it. And then the server which you manage, that is being called as a nodes actually. So each of these nodes you have a client installed. So we have a Puppet server, Puppet nodes. Okay, Puppet master, Puppet nodes. Puppet master also always has to be a 64-bit Linux machine, and Puppet master has been developed using Ruby on Rails applications. Okay, whereas Puppet nodes has been developed using again Ruby and a different platform but it work on the different platform. So you can install the Puppet nodes using on Linux, you can install on Windows, you can install in the Mac, you can install in the Unix flavors and stuff like that. So that nodes you can set it up in any of the operating system, and each node there is one application runs which is called Puppet agent. So do you remember the Puppet agent which we have tried yesterday being our developer? So the same software we are going to install in the nodes also. So now we have a server, Puppet master, and we have a nodes. The important question is like how do they communicate with each other? How basically the communication happen? So basically communication happens over the SSL or over the TCP IP port number 8140. Okay, so master and nodes, they communicate with each other using the TCP 8140. That's the way they communicate with each other. So now I'm going to talk about how these things will happen, but before that, let me remind you. I believe you already know by now what is a type, what is a title, what is a attributes. So these three things you already know. We need to discuss about the provider. So now let's discuss about the provider. So for that, I need to draw some of the things. So I said one statement, if you remember, Puppet programs, Puppet manifest file works on the each platform. That is the thing which I said, right? So no matter whether you have a program, and no matter whether you're running on Windows, you're running on Linux, or you're running on Windows different flavors, Linux different flavors, it will work on those. So how it is possible, how it can be possible. So how the Puppet program is compatible with all the operating system and is working on all the platforms. So how it is possible? So let me tell you, here Puppet is playing a very important role. So let me draw a picture. So here you have a PP. Okay, now let me just put it some blocks actually. So this is a Puppet master, and this is a server which we call it node. Each node has a Puppet agent installed, which is called client. Okay, so this is the master, Puppet master, and all these are nodes. Now what happens? Let's say this is a Windows, this is Linux, and this is a Mac. Different machine, different architecture. So now you have a PP program here, the Puppet program, which you want to call it module. So I'll start calling module from now onwards. So now you understand this. So you have a modules here, which is nothing but has a combination of the PP program and anything. Easily we call it manifest file. So now what happens? The moment now in the run phase, what happens? The moment you add a node, this node you have to add it on the Puppet master. Okay. So now we got Windows. Now we got Linux. So Puppet master knows Linux also. He has information about the Mac also. So now module is being, so we add this all these nodes on the master. So now Puppet master knows what exactly you are. Okay. Puppet master knows all this. You are a Windows, you are Linux, you are Mac. All these different architecture. In the Mac, in the Linux itself, you have a 10 flavors. So Puppet master knows about this. Okay. Now you have a flavors, all these things. So you have a modules. You know that what exactly the operating systems are. During the execution, what happens? Puppet convert this module into catalog. Okay, this catalog is nothing but a, a kind of JSON file which has been created after the combination of the modules Puppet program manifest with respect for the each platform. So for this platform, one catalog. Okay, here. Now for this you have one catalog. For this you have one catalog. So basically what Puppet master does in the Puppet itself, server itself, they have a map module. They read that from which server you are applying, and so based on the server they create a catalog. Okay, so they create a catalog is always JSON format and it's internally done. You are not interacting with any of these things, right? Let me tell you, you are just running the program and internally everything is happening. And now this catalog is been sent to the Windows, Linux, and then Mac and executed. So catalog is designed for the each operating system. Now this catalog is received by the Puppet agent, which you know that, which we have yesterday installed it, Puppet agent, and Puppet agent blindly, just like a minions, execute this catalog and changes happen. So the important question is how do they create the catalogs according to the different platform? How do they create? So you have a module. Now catalog is being created for the Mac, for the Linux, different flavor, for the Windows. So how it's possible? So it's been possible with the help of, there is one element which is called providers. So now where is the provider? Providers is always inbuilt in the Puppet master itself. So if you want to know the provider, let me give you a list of it. Puppet. Now look at this providers. Click on the providers. See here. AIX is one of the provider. AppDMG is one of them. Apple. APT is for 1, 2. Aptitude, APTRM, like DNF, DPKG, Flink, FreeBSD, GEM, HPUX, and all these are provider, which you can see that. We'll find the YUM provider, which is basically for us, which is Windows are here, Windows here, YUM is here. So these are the providers. So what happens basically, these providers are in your Puppet master itself. So the moment you ask for any execution, these providers is being used in order to create a catalog, and catalog is been designed for that particular nodes, and Puppet agent automatically execute that. So in this diagram, what we understand, here you have agent, here you have master. Puppet master is not sending manifest to execute to each nodes. Puppet master send a catalog in a JSON format. Each catalog is designed for the each node actually. Okay, so is that clear? Did you understand that? What is a provider? Anyone has a doubt? Anyone has a doubt? Okay, so no, master has to be always Linux 64-bit. Okay, so sometime what happens? Sometime you hard code the provider. Okay, in your program, there's in your Puppet resource declaration attributes, you have one attribute which is called provider, which you will look at that here. So basically, you can hard code. If you want your program to be executed only for, let's say, AIX, then you just type provider is equal to AIX and it will be hard coded. So you can also hard code, but if you do not put it the provider, or that script can be executed on any platforms actually. So that's all about it. Now, but some scripts you want to execute only in some platform, that way you can hard code. Hard code you can put it provider is equal to AIX or M or APT, whatever it is. Now we need to understand second thing. So we understand this provider now. We need to understand how this node and master collaborate together. How node and master. So first time, so here you have master. Okay, now this master is up and running. Now you have to add a node. So the move in order to add a node, this machine you have it. Now node will send a request to the master in the first run. Node, this is a node. Let me put it the node bigger one. Okay, this is your node. Now what will happen? Node will send the request to the master saying that master please manage me. That's the first step. How it's been sending the request, I'll teach you. So node is been send a request to the master. Master manage me. Master say yes, I want to manage you. Then he will register, let's say node number is 1, so master will store all this information about node. So node, whenever sending the request about the master to about like let's manage me, then node also send the information about themselves, like what is your device driver, are you 32-bit, 64-bit, what is the operating system, what is the version of operating system, CPU, RAM, and all the specifications, system characteristics. Okay, so they send it via the they send it to the master in the first request only. So now here master receive this request, and if it accepts it, then you get that registration here done. After that, what happens? Master send that in the second flow. Master send the catalog, which I discussed in the last slides also. So master send the catalogs to get it executed. That is how it happens. So first time, whenever you add a node, you have to approve it or reject it. This is option you have it, because Puppet master will only manage those servers which you have approved it. If you have rejected, you will not approve. Now some of the things also I would like to tell you how this each server gather the system information which is being sent to the master. So the moment install the Puppet agent, okay, the moment install your Puppet agent, there's one software which is also being installed, that is called Factor. Okay, Factor is a utility which is get installed with the each Puppet agent. Factor will gather the resources. It's an open source product which is clubbed with the Puppet agent. Okay, so Factor gather the information and then Puppet agent send that information to the Puppet master. So this is what it happens. So did you understand this overall? What is a provider and how the servers and nodes communicate with each other? Any doubts?
Can you just repeat the factor thing again?
Yeah, so Factor is one of the utility which you, the moment you install the Puppet agent in the server, you will get it. I'm talking about this server, not here. We call it Puppet master, Puppet server. Here we call it server, node, or client, whatever you want to call it. Okay, so now, whenever Puppet agent get installed, there is one application is getting installed which is called Factor. Okay, Factor in fact is a part of the default many Linux based operating system also. So that tool gather all the information about the systems and send back to the Puppet master. So Factor is just a tool. You can do programming against it.
Okay.
Okay. So now overall we have got it, the understanding. Okay. Now let's try to move on to implementing side. So as part of the setting of the Puppet master, okay, Puppet master, this notes I'll share with you. Puppet master, it has to be 64-bit and it has to be Linux. And if you want to set up a Puppet agent, it can be anywhere actually. Okay, it can be anywhere. So let's set it up and then we will take it forward. So now I have to set it up the Puppet master. Let me tell you, Puppet master, you need to do some certain changes like a host name changes, right? Host name changes, FQDN changes. You have to install the NTP. NTP is basically for the time matching. So you have to install the NTP in the Puppet master also. You have to install in the Puppet agent also. And then finally install the Puppet master. Puppet has released, this is important, Puppet has released two kind of server application. So one we call it Puppet server and one we call it Puppet enterprise. And the same thing we call it Puppet master also. So whenever you see the instruction and you read about the Puppet server, do not perceive this is a Puppet enterprise. Both are different. Puppet server is a free, okay, and non-GUI based actually. It's a free and non-GUI based. That means you don't have a GUI. Everything you have to do through the command line. Whereas, and no reporting, no dashboard and all. Where Puppet Master is paid free only for 10 nodes. Okay, after that you have to buy a license for managing the nodes on the Puppet Master. Okay, so be mindful about it. Little bit of the directory structures also will be different. And right now I'm trying showing you the demo in RHEL, but different operating system like Ubuntu, the different sort of directory structures will be there. So I am showing you the demo on the Puppet Enterprise, which is also called Puppet Master, but Puppet Server is also a product which you can try it out. Okay. Now Puppet Agent, it can be any places, but you need an NTP in each Puppet Agent. So Puppet Agent timestamp and Puppet Master timestamp can match. Okay. So now let's get started. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to get to a machine. I'll go and get a 4 GB machine and I need 3. Okay, 3. 30 GB hard disk is sufficient for the demo. Okay, so now I got these three machines. One machines I'm going to name it as a server. So my puppet master would be this one, and remaining two I'm going to use as a agent, nodes, client, whatever you wanna call it. Okay, done. So now I got this machine here, and now I'm going to set up a puppet master in this here, this server. So let's log in using the putty. Call this auth. Yeah, I'll make this view better. $14, let it be. And ec2-user sudo -s. Okay, so the first thing what you have to do, you have to make a entry in the host file. So I have these steps already as part of the notes. You can access it here, and I'll share with you anyways. It's already there, so no need to share and all. Yeah, so here it is. It's long documentation, but one of the things which I have to do is changing the information. So let's do that. So here this is the command. So what I'm going to do, first thing, changing the host name. So my host name is, which should be fully qualified domain name, okay, FQDN. So here the fully qualified domain name is puppet.example.com. So now I'm setting up this one. I become a root to get it installed. I'll just verify. You can see that is effective. Okay, it has been taken. Now this is the change in the FQDN. Second thing I will do, I will change the host entry. So you have to be mindful about it. I'm using AWS. Okay, for the AWS I have to change the host entry. So this is the local host IP address. This is the same name. It should alias get alias is puppet and localhost, that's fine. Here I need to push the IP address. What is my IP address? Here. Let me tell you, I'm pushing the two IP address. You'll be, if you're trying in the VM and all, then you should not try two IP address. The reason here is like in EC2, I'm getting public IP and private IP. So I'm just putting it usually for best practices. Whenever you resolve from the internally, public IP or private IP, both it should get resolved for the same aliases, which is called puppet.example.vm or whatever. This name, it can be anything, but you follow across the same. Now at this line, these three lines, I'm going to put it inside the host file. Host. Okay. First line I will delete it. Insert, enter, done. So your changes of the host file is also done. So now next thing is we have to do, install the NTP. So I should have done it. So let me install the NTP. NTP is must. Starting the services, enabling the services, all this thing you have to do that. So I'm just starting the services, enabling the services, done. So now all these things done. So basically three things I did: change the host file, change the host name, and then NTP. And after that I'm going to download the installer. So installer location, which you can see here, I have put in. But again, let me tell you, if you go to the puppet.com, you will find the n number of instructions over there also. Just to save time, I have just put it all these notes. So clicking here, there, and all, it's not making any sense. So if I go to the OPT directory, now I'm going to download the Puppet Enterprise, which you can see this Puppet Enterprise 2017. So for the EL, this is for the Enterprise Linux 7. Okay, so this is for that. So if you want the any latest package, So you can go and download it from the puppet.com. So wget is not there. Yum install wget. Now I just got this wget. Now let's download the package also. It's somewhere around 600 MB, I guess. It should be nearby. So I'm just waiting. Its expected time is almost close to 100 seconds.
So we are doing this on master, right?
Yes, of course, we are doing everything in the master, and right now I'm setting the puppet master.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, so I downloaded the puppet master. Now let me extract it and then get into the directory and then start the installer. So in the directory you find you have installer also, uninstaller also. So you need installer right now. So running the installer. Here, the moment you install the installer, you will get the two options: guided install and text based. Text based, basically what you do, you write a configuration file, put it all the information in the configuration file, whichever is needed, and then start the installer. But guided is the one which I'm going for it. Now installation is in process. Okay, so now installation is complete. You can see that you can read the message here, and now you have some of the message. Please spend some time here reading it. Okay, so now you saw that in order to complete the puppet, you have to configure it. So installation is done, but you have to configure it. In order to do that, you have to go here. Now this is the location. So you can replace with IP address also, but that's not a good practice. We will stick to the same thing, whatever it is. Here you have to go. Now how can you open? So if you open this website, and I'm stressing upon these points, if you open up, you will not be able to access. Why? Because this is not resolving. So what you have to do, you can make your program changes in the Windows also. So go to the driver location here, Windows System 32 driver, where the host files is there under the etc. Change the port number, IP address. So for this, puppet.example.vm, whatever the name you are using, you just change the IP address, correct one, which is here, and the one. So now changes, saved it, done. Now I'll be able to access that. So
Did we set the firewall?
no. So I should be able to access. Firewall I have disabled. Okay, I made a error actually. The IP address is 35, starting with 35, but I inserted 5, so that's the reason. Now it will be fine. So here, now you see. So after this, you will get this page. Now you have to click on the get started. Let's get started. Here we are installing the Puppet Enterprise Master on the different server or same servers. Of course, same server. I'll go for the same FQDN because this is what needed. Aliases is the same Puppet. And here you want the PostgreSQL database which is on different server or same server. So if you go for the first option, one Puppet PostgreSQL instance will be running on the same server. If you have a different database, you can go for the different database also. So you can provide the port, user ID, password, database name, and all stuff like that. So as of now, I don't want to go into the different database. And here you have a username is admin, password is admin1234. So this is the stuff I tried, and here this is the host name, aliases, database, all this stuff I just selected. Confirm the plan, continue. Now these are the things which you can see that most of the things are in green. That means everything is good. They are having some warning for me, like saying that I have a less RAM, less storage and all. That is fine because anyways we are not using for the production and all, just for the demo. So I'll go with it and deploy now. Now these are the 4 things it has to be completed. So the things which I did, nothing great. I just installed, change the host entry, change the host name, install the NTP, and then finally downloaded the package and install it and then configure it. That's all. So now it's getting done. If you have got any error during the installation process, you can see the logs and see that a different environment, different server, different error you might get it. You have to see, check, and then resolve it. So now this will take around 2 minutes to get it configured. Any questions meanwhile if you have? Any questions?
So this
Yes, it's like a sort of procedures as part of the installing the software. So it will give you the GUI. So bad. I just did it. So we have configured the Puppet Master here as of now, end of it, and now you can see this is the dashboard. Out of which this is the place where we can see the license. Out of which 10 complementary nodes are there. One is in use, which is by the master itself. 9 nodes remaining. We have some license node section, we have configuration sections, we go to use it, but before that we have to set up a node. So how to set up a node? So set up a node or agent with master. So in order to set up a node, let me tell you, I have said 2 information. One is like, where is your Puppet conf? So we have not used so far the Puppet conf, but I did discuss like there's one place where you will get the configuration file. This is the configuration file which read by the Puppet over time. So whatever the things you do that in this is okay. This is a agent machine. So I not install anything, so you won't get it. But let me show you that location, which is ec2-user. So in the Puppet master and the Puppet agent, every machine, you will get this location, okay? This location, and I have two location need to be. So in this etc Puppet lab, you need to go to the Puppet directory, okay? And inside that you have one file. As of now, you can see so many files because this is a Puppet master, but in agent, you'll be able to see only this file, okay? Puppet.conf, and here a file. So now this file, in order to register agent with the master, you need to inform this file where is your master, IP address, and certificate. These are the things. So first thing, what you have to do, in order to set up a agent in the master, you have to install agent. Step number 1, install agent. Second, modify the puppet.conf. Second thing, modify the puppet.conf with IP address of master, okay? IP address of master and certificates. This is a manual process. You can do that. If you want to do that, you can do that. So, but right now I'm not doing this one because there is automation available. So installing the agent, modifying the puppet.conf, and inserting the IP address of the master and certificates and etc. All these things, tasks can be done by the one command, which you can find inside the unsigned certificate. That command you will find under the unsigned certs, and the command is this one. So basically there is one script which is getting executed in the agent. Let me again repeat. You will find this command under the unsigned certs, and this is a script which basically will perform these action. So if you want to set up an agent manually, you can do so. If you want to set up an agent and configure agent through script, you can do so. So this script I will run in the agent, but unfortunately, it will not run. The reason is this is a customized FQDN. It's not resolvable to the domain. So I need to again insert that line in my Linux agent host file also. So what I'm going to do, I put it here, one new line, and puppet.example.vm, it should resolve to this IP address. Now I just insert it, and now I am going and hitting to that URL and enter. Now this script will install agent, and you see that is getting installed. Puppet agent is being installed, and configure it, the puppet.conf. Okay, and it's almost done. Installation done, configuration is being done. Now you see that current state of the Puppet service is stopped. It ran here, and then remember, the moment Puppet agent will run here services, it will try to communicate with the server. So first run has happened already. Now let me show you the file under the etc Puppet labs Puppet, and there's a file which is called puppet.conf. So this is the file which I'm showing you in the agent, okay? And you see the content of it. Look at the last line. So in the each Puppet agent, this file will be there, which is called puppet.conf, and this puppet.conf will have the entry of your server, Puppet master. Where is your master? There are so many other entries as well, but this is the one of the entries which is must. Okay, so this is the way you can get the Puppet agent configured. Now if you go back to the Puppet master and refresh this unsigned certs, see this request has come from the Linux server 1. This is the name of your server, right? So the request has come from here. Now you accept it or reject it, it's up to you. The moment you accept it, you can see the inventory under the here. But why it's not coming here? Why it's not coming here? You need to check whether first thing, did I install the NTP in the node? Yes, I did install. And one more thing, is it Perforce Puppet agent is running or not? So ps -eaf grep puppet, and now I can see it's running. So everything is happening perfectly fine. So probably it will come in few seconds. I just should wait. See, it's come. So now you got this additional server Linux server 1 AP South 1 compute internal. So now you got the second nodes also. Like that you have to perform for the third nodes also. Very simple. So now did you understand that how to set up and configure the nodes? Any questions? Any doubts? Any questions? Any doubts? No doubts. Now you need to understand the last section of it is this one. This is a puppet master and this is a node. Puppet master and this is a node. Now there is a two-way of the changing the things. So now if you remember, in the puppet master I go, this is a puppet master white screen. I go to the place where the code has been stored, which is now you need to know this one. So now in the puppet master you have an environment. So you where can you see the environments? Under the code section. This is the environment. So now here you have environments, here you have modules. So let me tell you, there is one environment which is production, which is a default environment. In the production, you can have as many servers you wanted. Okay, so let me tell you one more thing here. In the Puppet agent, you might see that in the puppet conf you don't have environment. So if in the puppet.conf you are not putting the environment is equal to xyz, then that means by default it is a part of the production environment. By default, again I'm repeating, if any machine which is not you have mentioned which environment is basically from, so by default it's a part of the production environment, which you have default environment here. You can create your own environment. The commands are very simple. You can create your own environment using this command, and let me show you here. See here, this is the process to create your own environment. Okay, in fact you can follow the command line also. So this is the create another environment. So if you want to create your environment, you have to create the environment, create a directories, and then you have to install. If you want to install some the packages to that in particular environment, you can do that. Here you are installing the packages to the dev environment. Okay, in fact there is a command for that also to create an environment. Puppet help and generate. Puppet help generate, and you see that puppet health generate action. So here action types, so not this one. I'm not able to locate that. Config enterprise facts health. I think this is the one. Let me Google it. This better. Puppet create command to create environment. Okay, it's not very easy, so let's not spend time. Okay, so I'll just try one more time. Action here types. Now what is the types? We don't know. So here I think it should be types environment, but Puppet generate and enter. Okay, so type, what is the types? Action types here it's not meant, so that's what I was trying to get it. Okay, no problem. So let's create, you can create the environment just for time being. You can do that through the command line. So you have to do nothing but create a directory structure in one directory which is called environment. So here you are calling the dev environment, and if you want to do anything with those environment, you have to let's say installing the modules or something, you can do that. So this is the environment creation process, stuff like that. But for time being, what we are doing, you are using the production environment. So the production environment is the one. So if you look at the each environment, and the production environment, this is environment configuration file, this is the module, this is the manifest file. So now you need to know few things of this structure. So let me install this yum install tree. I'm not a suit. Yum install tree. So now if you know environment structure, then you'll build the understanding. Can you tell me which is the file which get loaded when you call the module? Which is the file which get loaded? Anyone remembers? Anyone remembers? No. Init.pp. So in the module, the default file which gets loaded is init.pp. Okay, that's a file which is a main file. So similarly, if you call the whole environment, the file which gets called is site.pp. Here it is. Okay, so in the environment production, which is the default your configuration file, here are data manifest, and site.pp is the main file which gets loaded, or any modules you keep inside it, it will get loaded only through the site.pp. So site.pp is the main thing. So now remember, init.pp means module, site.pp means environments. Very simple. Now what you're going to do, I am going to create one module. So let's go to the modules directory, and I becoming programmer. Yesterday we have written a module, but today I'm just creating the dummy module. Okay, just for the sake of demo. So I'm creating one dummy module quickly. Module is done, and inside the test module manifest directory init vi init.pp. I'll just end of it. I will write one resource declaration just for the demo, and that resource declaration is, let me copy the program. This one. Let's create a file, not this. Let's create a file under the opt, which is a file1. So it's a one of the very simple here. Okay, what I did in that class test, I have it, probably I just Okay, you have a file, actually file1. So basically this module will create one file which is called file1.txt. That's all. So my module is ready, okay, to use. So you can copy module whatever you like to execute it. The important thing is you have to go here. You have to go to the site.pp, which is inside the manifest directory, and here you have to call that. So let's call that. How are we going to call? So you're basically calling it. So let's do that. So I'm just including it. Class and module name was test, right? Test, that's all. So I'm calling it include test module, which will create a file. Done. So now this is done. Okay, so now I should verify if everything is okay. So let me show you one more time. I did not do anything else. In the modules directory, I created a test module. Inside that ini.pp, I just added one file resource declaration in which I'm just creating one file which is called file1.txt under the opt, and that includes statement I did in the manifest directory and aside pp. So far so good. Any confusion so far? Any confusion? Okay, that's all. So you have to do the same thing. You're done with it. So now I'll go agent here and I will go to the opt. Do you have a file1.txt? No. So you need to understand before executing same thing. Here Puppet agent can ask for the job using the Puppet1 command, and in fact Puppet master can create a job and send to agent. That's also possible. So the first is this scenario, how Puppet agent can request the job. So Puppet agent can request the job by typing manually a command which is called Puppet agent -t. So now this command is not found because installation has happened. I have to duplicate the session again and ec2 -user, now sudo -s, now Puppet agent -t. T means test. Okay, just manually I'm just requesting only one time from the Puppet agent to Puppet master. So insert. Now it's going and hitting to the Puppet master and asking for the job, and you see that. So go to the opt directory. The file1.txt is created. So Puppet agent can manually ask for the job one time. This will run only one time. Okay, that's also done. Now I'll go back to the Puppet enterprise and I will do some changes in the code. So vi modules, what is the module name? Test manifest init.pp, and now I'll make some code change here. I'll be put it file2. Okay, 2 this time I'll make it. I made the changes. Did you get the changes here? No, it's not there. So what are you going to do? This time I'll push it from the Puppet master to the Puppet agent. How? Through the job. So let's do that. So here I go to the Puppet master and you see this, there's under the nodes, there's one option which is called jobs. As of now, you have no jobs created. So you're going to create a job, new job, job name first, and which environment you want to run. So as of now you have only one environment, so let's be there. And inventory, so where you want to run basically. So you want to run on the you can write the PQL query also, but you can select the node list also. What is the node name? I have a Linux, right? So this is the Linux. Here I added. This is the place. If you want to add on a more node, you can do that. But as of now I don't have. And run job. Now this job is in progress. Very simple flow. As of now, succeeded, 0 failed, 0 skipped. So now automatically it will refresh, and now it's got succeeded. Now this job has run successfully. Let me see. Do you have a file2.txt? You have it. So this is the second way of running. Okay, this is the second way. But you are not willing to go because you have thousands of server. You don't want to execute this one way. One will never work in case of thousands of server. And in fact, in that ways too also, you are feeling very lazy. So what you want, the moment your Puppet module is getting executed, is getting changed, automatically Puppet agent should get their job. So what you can do? So for that, what you can do, you have to modify the puppet.conf here, puppet.conf puppet, and you have to modify the puppet.conf, and there is a variable which is called run on interval. You have to introduce. So in the puppet.conf, you have hundreds of options. You have to spend some time to understand and read about the huge cases, but here puppet.conf examples are given, and I'm looking for the only one variable, run interval. So run interval, I just set it up 3 seconds. Okay, or let's make it 1 seconds. Why to wait 2 seconds for that? Usually you can set your own time. I'm just setting up 1 second. So now you see that I have only file 1, file 2. Now the moment I will modify the Puppet modules, so let's modify the Puppet modules here. Let's do that copy and create some more file 33. Save it. I just saved it. The timing was damn low, and now ls. See that? So if you introduce this run on interval, automatically Puppet agent will keep asking for the job at that time. And though I set it up, the time was very low, it's hitting too fast. And it's getting done all this task. So what you have to do basically, if you have thousands of server, you have to install the Puppet agent in one VM, modify all these changes, do that, and take a copy of it and clone the same thing and make it a thousands of server from that image. Okay, and automatically the moment you boot that machine, Puppet agent should be running as part of it. Puppet agent should be running as part of the process. And if Puppet agent is running, as of now, what is not? Okay, grep. Running, then automatically it will hit the Puppet master and get the job done. So that is the thing. So now what we learn? Here we learn 3 ways. One is like from the Puppet agent, from the Puppet master, and how to automate this process. Is it clear? Is it clear?
Uh, what what was that option of PQL instead of node in the drop down?
So PQL is a PQL query. So a PL SQL query. So remember the nodes are registered in the safe stored in the what do you say? PostgreSQL database. So you can create a PL SQL query to list out all the nodes. So that is also possible. Okay, PQL means PostgreSQL query language. It's against the database. Okay.
Oh, okay. So basically, it will be pretty much similar to the SQL.
Something like that. Yeah. If you want to know more about the PQL, you just go to this place.
Okay.
Similar to we have a PL SQL in the Oracle, similar to that we have a PQL in the PostgreSQL database for querying language. It's something like a SQL query, something like that.
Okay.
So did you understand how can we set up an agent? How can we set up a master? And how they communicate and how can we automate? Again, you in the server, you have some of the things like inventory. Inventory, you'll have a list of it. Classification, you can create a basically group. So if you have a group here, you can select the group name, which is a part of the environment, and then you select the machine which you want to add it, and then you can keep modifying it. Jobs, just I showed you. Unsigned certificate, I showed you. Access control, you can add a users here, you can add a local users, admin users, whatever you wanted, and you can create a rules attached to the external directories. Here you have some of the overview like overall reports, what are the total run, failures, and status and status of each of these things. Here again you have reports. These are the reports. You can see each lines what is happening. So what are the class, what are the facts? Facts means factor, okay? So this is a factor information about the systems. What are the classes is got executed? What are the variables got? Reports, groups, and all stuff like that.
Please be kind enough to like it, and you can comment any of your doubts and queries. We will reply to them at the earliest. Want to study further? Subscribe to our paid membership to get a deep dive into each and every topic. Do look out for more videos in our playlist and subscribe to our DevOps School channel and hit the bell icon to learn more. Keep learning.